Hey guys, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Welcome to my channel. So I'm just gonna get straight into it, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of talking later on in the video. Firstly, I want to apologize for the angles of this video. It was really hard for me to try to figure out where to put the camera, so just bear with me. It'll get better as time goes on, I promise. But anyways, right now what I'm doing is just prepping for my acrylic application. I am using a cuticle bit and just using that to go around my cuticles to remove any of them from my nail plate. Every product that I am using I have listed down below, so you guys can check out all of the products that I have down in my description. Most of the links are for Amazon. If I can find all of my other stuff, then I will go ahead and link it as well, but everything that you need to begin is all in my description. Now all that I'm doing is taking a fine sanding band on my e-file and just removing the shine from my nails. I'm barely putting any pressure at all on this e-file because mine kind of starts off fast, so I don't want to do any burning or anything like that. So I'm just taking the shine off of my nails, and then from there we are going to apply our tips. Okay, so as far as tips, I have gone through so many different types, and I think these are my favorite. These are the Eden tips. I get these from my local nail supply store. I did link them down below. They're on Amazon. However, the link for the Amazon purchase is only one size, so you'll have to go to that seller and purchase every size that they have individually. They don't sell them as a 500. But yeah, I'm just going ahead and gluing these tips onto my nails. I'll also have a link for the glue down in the description. But we are doing 2 glass nails, so I will also be using clear nails on my middle finger and my pinky finger. The clear nails, I got those from AliExpress. That link will also be down in the description. They were super cheap, but I don't use them anymore. I only use them when I want to do glass nails because I'm not really a huge fan of the shape, but they get the job done. Alright, now that I have all of my tips on, what I'm going to do is just take this form to measure out the length that I want them. I believe all of these were a 1.5. So I just went ahead and used those sewing shears that I have, and I also used the forms to measure the length, and then I'll just go from there to cut them into a coffin shape. I definitely give this full credit for this idea to Amnesty Nails. I watch her videos all the time, and she always measures her nail with a form to make sure that they're all the same length, and I love that idea, so I did the same as well. The link for the scissors are also down in my description, so if you would like those, just go ahead and check that out. Now that we have our shape cut, I'm just going to take a 100 grit file. This is a zebra file, which means it's kind of white, when you first use it, or the first couple times you use it, it's going to be kind of white. So I like those because they aren't extremely harsh on my nails like the black ones. They're a little bit smoother. And I'm just going to go ahead and make my shape, blend my tips, and then we will go from there. When you're filing, you want to make sure that you keep your file as straight as possible up against your side walls. And even when you're doing your free edge, I like to take my file and point it towards I like to point it towards my palm. Just ignore that. That's my dog, and you might hear some baby noises as well. Just ignore them. But yeah, I like to point the file towards my palm so that way I make sure that I get the line as straight as possible. You can also hold your hand out in front of you and file it that way as well. Just hold the file parallel to the fingernail. Okay, so you guys are gonna kill me. I started to do my pointer and my ring finger and forgot to press record. And it wasn't until I started doing my marble that I noticed that I was no longer recording. So I did already go ahead and do my pointer and my ring finger, so I apologize about that. Now for the marble, the best way to do this is to work with 2 beads that are wet, so that way they blend together seamlessly. If you try to work with 2 beads that are dry, you'll see later on in the video that when I was doing my clear nails exactly what happened, but it'll be kind of hard to blend them and everything will start to dry. So you just want to make sure that your beads are wet so that way you can maneuver them how you want to. Now the powder that I use to do all of my ombres, I feel like it's the perfect color. It goes with every skin tone. Is C&D Warm Pink. And I'm just gonna take that and put it right where my color ends, pat it down so that it goes onto the nail seamlessly, and from the bottom of that bead, drag it down. And then from there, all I'm gonna do is just go ahead and fill in the rest of the area. Now a lot of people have asked me about acrylic application. It's really all in the ratios. Everyone is asking me what products I use, you know, where to go get things. But if your technique isn't, you know, flawless, it doesn't matter what products you're gonna use. It's gonna have to come down to how you apply the products. So now I have one ombre done. You'll see me do the next one. Again, I just place it above the color, pat it out, and from the bottom of that bead, drag it down. And you want to make sure while you're applying your acrylic to maintain your shape as much as possible. I found that when I was learning how to do nails that less is more. You always need less than what you think. So it's no point in picking up, you know, these huge beads and then most of it either falling off the nail or you having to take it off because it dried too quick, that kind of thing. So use less. It's always easier to add more than to take away. So for my glitter, this is actually a custom mix that I made myself. I apologize. I do not know where this glitter came from or what mix it is. It's actually pretty old. So yeah, I did want to pop on here and just say that I'm not sure where I got the glitter from. If I can find one similar, then I will link it. But however, that is the glitter that I'm using. And all I'm doing is placing this on top of the nude and dragging it down as if it were an ombre itself, until I am happy with where the glitter falls. And with these glitter nails, I did put this layer as thin as possible. You can see like right there, I barely used any at all, but so much glitter comes off when I do that. The reason that I'm putting this so thin, the reason I'm putting so thin is because I have to encapsulate it later. And the reason for that is because if I don't encapsulate it and I go straight into file, the glitter will turn gray, because the glitter shards, when they're cut in half, it's just gray. So it wouldn't be shiny, it wouldn't be pretty or anything like that. It would just be like chopped up glitter. So I put that on as thin as possible, and now we are going to move on to our clear nails. Alright, so this brush right here that I'm using, I purchased from my local nail supply store. I will have one down in the description that is something similar to it. But it's pretty much just a 3D acrylic brush, so that's the kind of brush that you use to do 3D art, like flowers and stuff like that. But I noticed that it works very well with doing marble. And this is what I was talking about right here when I said that if you wait too long, when you try to do your marble, you'll kind of be slicing through the acrylic. But it's okay to do that as long as it still looks seamless. So I went ahead and did it a couple of times, and then I didn't touch it anymore because I didn't want it to look choppy. I added some more clear. You see how wet the bead is, and then I went ahead and added in the green once again and just drug it through how I wanted it to look. I'm gonna take my same, acrylic brush that I've been using to fill in the sides, and then the smaller brush to put in the marbling and just drag it through. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the pinky, and after I'm done with that, I'm going to encapsulate these in clear, just to, add strength to the nail. This is just a design. It will have no strength to it. So if I were to leave it like this, it would probably break. encapsulate the glitter that is on my thumb, pointer, and ring finger. I'll also bring this clear down some just to even out the ombre because my bead was a little bit dry, so it kind of laid on top of the color funny. So I use this clear to also just even out the nail overall, and as you can see there, that's the shape that I'm going for. That's the profile that I'm going for. How it's kind of thicker at the top and then thinner at the bottom. Apparently my son wants to do the voiceover. But all right, now I'm gonna take, so this is what a new file looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and take that 100, 100, perfect my shape. Again, you wanna stay as straight as possible. When you're doing your own nails, it's a little bit harder just because, you know, you kind of have to hold your nail and do your nail at the same time. But you'll get used to it after a while. On clients, it's a lot easier. But you just wanna make sure you're keeping that file as close to your sidewall as possible and as straight. When you first start to file, you'll notice that there's some either acrylic or glue stuck to the finger. Just take the file and separate the glue or the acrylic from the nail and file that away, like what I'm doing right there. You want to file all of that away. Alright, so what I'm doing now is taking a medium carbide safety bit and going around my cuticles as well as going up and down on the nail just to smooth it out. With the safety bits, it's like almost impossible for you to cut somebody. And all the time that I have been doing nails, I haven't cut anyone yet. So if you're a beginner, I definitely suggest you get safety bits. I won't even use the regular ones now because there's no point in it. I'm comfortable with the safety bits and that's what I'm always gonna use. So I'm just gonna go around the cuticle and just tighten it up and then go down on the nail to perfect the shape and also for it all to be smooth. All right, so after that, I went ahead and washed my hands. I am using Kiara Sky gel polish. I'm so sorry, but once again, I forgot to press record on me polishing. But this is the finished result after I add the clear coat. I cured it in the lamp for about 60 seconds, and here it is. I do want to thank you all for tuning in. If you like what you see, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and definitely comment down below what you want to see from me. I know a lot of you watching me are beginners, so any questions that you have, I will definitely answer. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.